Welcome guys, again we have come with percentage, and this day we are basically trying to learn like what is successive and how we can use successive, obviously. So successive is also a very important thing. So after base change, the next important thing is successive. This is basically the third part of like percentage, and you have to remember where we use successive also, though this entire thing is basically like back-to-back percentage change, this type of question. And yes, you are like watching this particular video, we have the entire playlist with iQuanta. So if you do not know where to go and where to see like all the other videos, the link is in description, the link obviously of the playlist, and we have also our speed maths sections as well, so you can check that as well. So now come back to this thing, that is if the side of the square is increased by 10%, what is the percentage increase in area? The first thing you understand, what is area? Area is nothing but side square. We know area is nothing but side square. Now if the square's side is increased by what? 10%, what is the percentage increase in area? Now some of you can think like the answer can be 100%. Yes, but the answer is not 100%. It is definitely not 100%. Take it, definitely not 100%. Now why it is not exactly 100%? Now you need to see this diagram. Let's say, think about it. 100% is double. Now let's say this side is increased by 10%. So let's say it was 10. So it is increased by 10%. So 10 tha, now it is increased by 10%. So it has, the increase is basically 10 into 10 upon 100, which is basically 1. So it is increased by 1. So this is also 1. So similarly this was 10 and this has become 1, right? So all the sides increased by 1. So if this side was 10, it is also increased by 1. So this is 1. And let's say this side was 10 and it is also increased by this portion, that is 1. So all the sides are basically increased by 1. So you can see this is not exactly double. This entire thing is not double to this blue thing, right? So that's why it is definitely not 100%. Now if you understand this thing, so we can directly calculate also. If let's say initially the side is 10, so what is the area? The area is 10 square, right? Which is 100. Now the side has become, that is 10 plus 1. The side has become 11. So what is the area? Area is 11 square, which is 121. Now what is the percentage increase? 21%. So hence your answer is 21% increase, because 100 was initial area, now it has become 121. So what is the percentage increase in area? 21%. So I just show you how it becomes 21. So this is like the extra portion that has been basically being increased due to this. Am I clear? Now if I think about geometrically, just think about it. This is 10, this is 1. So this is 10 unit increase. This is 1, this is 10. This is again 10 unit increase. And this is 1, this is 1. This is 1 unit increase. So this is 10, 10, 20 plus 1, 21. So in this way also you can find this is 21. So geometrically also you can understand like this portion is 10 square unit. This is like 10 is the length and 1 is the width. This is also 10 because 10 is the length, 1 is the width, and this is 1 cross 1. That is a square, which is total 10 plus 1 is 21 square unit increase in case of 100, which is also same as 21% increase. So you have to understand like where we use 21% and where we won't use 21%. In case of area, it is 21% straight. Now think about it. We basically can use this formula as well to solve this type of question, that is m plus n plus mn upon 100. Now the thing is where we use generally this formula. So this is one example we have already curated. Now I'm giving you one example also so that you understand like where we can use this thing. Let's say you have invested certain amount in share market, let's say. So in the first month your return is 10%, in the second month your return is 20%. Now if I'm asking what is your overall percentage return, so what is your answer? You can see that in the screen also. Like initially, let's say you have 100 rupees. In the first month, you got 10 rupees. So it has become 110. In the next month, it has become 110 and 20% of 110. So what is 20% of 110? That is 12. So 110 plus, what is that is 22, I'm sorry. So it was 100, then 10% of 100 has become 110. Now we have a 20% increase in 110, which is 110 plus 22, which becomes 132. So you can see there is 132. So initially I have 100, now it has become 132. So it is how much increase? 32%. Similarly, let me give you another example also. Let me give you another example like this. Let's say you got let's say two discounts. Let's say this is like Amazon sales is going on, let's say, and you have like another sale, 50% Amazon sale, and there is, if you are using ICICI Bank credit card, you get another 60% discount. Now my question is, what is the overall discount percentage? So how you do? you have, let's say, you can see that, like, let's say the product of the price is 100, like, let's say rupees. Now first discount by Amazon is 50%. So 100 minus 50 is how much? 50. Now there is 60% discount on this 50. Now if there is 60% discount on 50, so what is 60% of 50? That is 60 upon 100 into 50, which is nothing but 30. Now we have got another 30% discount out of 50. So if now what is the final price? That is 50 minus 30, that is 20. So initially the price of the product was 100, now the price of the product is 20. So what is your overall discount? That is 80%. So a lot of people can think like 60% plus 50% might be 110%, but please understand, like, what do you mean by 110% discount? 110% discount means, like, Amazon is paying you 10 rupees when you are buying a product worth rupees 100. So think about it, like, Amazon is paying me 10 rupees when I am buying a product worth rupees 100, and I'm not giving anything. I'm taking the product and Amazon also giving me 10 rupees. So that is the meaning of 110% discount, right? So this is absurd, right? So that's why the answer is 80% discount in this case. So all of these things you can see, like, we have using like one percentage after another, whether it is in discount, whether it is in increase, whether it is in all of these cases. Now please understand this kind of cases, like, it's very important to understand this. Why? Because whenever it is discount, whenever it is increase, it is occurring again and again, we are using the formula which you can see now, that is m plus n plus mn upon 100. So starting from the square, right? So starting from the square, so in case of square, what is the answer has to be? That is 10 plus 10, because all the sides increase by 10 and 10, plus 10 into 10 upon 100. So your answer is 21. So this is giving you 21% straight. Now think about the second case. The second case is basically I invested, then 10% return, then 20% return. So 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 upon 100. So your answer is 32. Now think about discount. Like, we have two discount, like 50% discount. So discount is minus. So next is minus 60% discount, right? So in this case, what I need to do, that is minus 50. So your aim is minus 50 plus minus 60. So your n is minus 60 plus minus 50 into minus 60 upon 100, right? So this is m into n. So it becomes minus 50 minus 60 plus 30. So what is answer? That is minus 80. And what is the meaning of minus 80? That is 80% discount. So this is the concept of successive, where we can use this concept in all of this kind of question. Do you understand? Like, whenever there is one after another, or it is in product form, like in case of area, that is side into side or length into breadth. In this case, we are using successive. But the other cases where, like, we have the same kind of percentage increase one after another, or decrease increase, in those cases where the base is then the same thing and that is basically being increased, not different product, the same product. In those cases, we can use successive. Please understand that. We will discuss more in this later on as well. Like in this case, the length is increased by 10% and the breadth is increased by 20%. It's a rectangle, obviously. So what is the area of rectangle? That is L into B. Now if you need to solve this question, so if you just need to take a value, so I can take a value 10, I can take a value 10 also. So initially the area is 10 into 10, which is 100. Now the length 10 has become 10 plus 20% of 10. So it was 10, now it is 10 plus 20 upon 100 into 10, which is 12. Similarly, sorry, 20, no, this is 10 upon 100. So this is basically 12, this portion. And in this case, that is 10 plus 10 into 10 upon 100, which is 11. So now think about this, like 11 into 12, so it has become 132. So what is the percentage increase? 32%. So this is one way to solve this question, but we can use the formula also. And what was the formula? M plus n plus mn upon 100. So if you do this, like that is 20 plus 10 plus 20 into 10 upon 100, which is 32. Now remember, 10 and 20 and 20 and 10 doesn't make any difference. So if it has like 20% increase in length and 10% in breadth also, that will also give you the same value. So there is no exact change in the values. So please think very carefully. Now let's go for the next one. Now there is a thing where length is increased by 20% and breadth is decreased by 10%. So if I need to use the formula, now I'm trying to use the formula straight way. That is plus 20 plus minus 10 plus 20 into minus 10 upon 100. So that is by the formula. So this is 10, 20 minus 10 is 10, plus 20 into minus 10 upon 100. So which is 10 minus 2. So your answer is 8%. So I can directly say there is 8% increase in area. If it is plus, that is increase. If it is minus, that is decrease. So I've given you one formula please like additionally you just need to accommodate the plus minus accordingly. If it is increasing, it is plus. If it is decreasing, it is minus. If it is increasing, it is addition. If it is decreasing, it is subtraction. So that's how you can accommodate the formula with increase and decrease. Otherwise the formula remains same. Am I clear? So let's go for the next question. Now, rise of petrol price, let's think about it. Like we know, like in our this everyday life, like we can see like the petrol price is rising from the last 10 years. Also, you can see like this is like one very general phenomena I have taken. There's nothing to do with political scenarios, like it's just a general phenomena. So please see like how we basically discuss this type of question as well. So due to 20% increase in petrol price, a man reduces consumption by 20%. What is the percentage change in expenditure? Now I know expenditure is nothing but price into consumption. So I've told you, like in the case of area also, we can use successive because it is in the product form. So even this is also in the product form, so I can use successive. So first use successive. So take 20 plus minus 20 plus 20 into minus 20 upon 100. So if you do this, this is 0 basically, this gets cancelled out. So 0 minus 4, so your answer is minus 4. So what is the meaning of minus 4? That is 4% decrease in expenditure. Am I clear? Now if you want to solve it manually also, you can solve this thing. Let's say like the price is 10 rupees per liter. And let's say the consumption is, that is the price, this is the consumption is 10 liter. So what is the expenditure? 100. Now the price has become how much? 12 per liter because 20% increase. And the consumption is decreased by 20%, which is minus 2 liter, which is 8 liter. So what is now the expenditure? That is 12 into 8, it is 96. So it is decreased by 4. So the answer is 4% decrease. So this is how you can solve this type of question. That is as simple as this. So this is the use of what? Successive. So all of these things what we are using, that is use of successive. Now think about the family has to restrict his expense. That is no change in expense. So petrol price still increase by 20%, to what percent they shall decrease their consumption? So think about it, they shall decrease their consumption by let's say X percent. Okay? So can I write 20 minus X plus 20 into minus X upon 100 is equal to 0? Why 0? Because there is no change in expenses. No change in expense, that means after 0, after equal to it has to be 0. 0 is no change. Positive is addition. Negative is subtraction, 0 is no change. So if you solve this thing, you'll get minus x, that is 5, that is minus x upon 5, which is equals to minus 20. So if I solve this thing, I'll get basically 6x upon 5 is equal to 20. So what is x? That is 100 upon 6, which is nothing but 16.67%. This is one method to solve this question. What is second method to solve this question? Now we can use base change also. Think about it. We can use base change here. We have just learned base change, so we can use base change here. So your petrol price is increased. So what is 20%? 1 upon 5. Now if your petrol price increased, that means your base has also been increased. If your petrol price increased and there is no change in, let's say, consumption, then your expenditure would have been increased. So that means your base has been increased. If your base is increasing, so it has to be numerator upon denominator plus numerator. Why your base is increasing? Because your petrol price is increasing. Do you understand the correlation, right? Now this is basically 1 upon 5 plus 1. So hence your answer is 1 upon 6, which is same as 16.67%. It's as simple as this possible. Okay? So we can use base change to solve this type of question as well. So please understand like how and what basically we are trying to use to solve this type of question. This is a very technical thing, and please understand it very carefully because this kind of things we are going to use in the next chapters of arithmetic as well. So it's very, very crucial. So let's go for the next one. What is this called? This is called successive. Now think about it where we can use it. We can use it number 1, that is percentage increase or decrease. So where we can use successive, it can be also shown in your screen. The number 1 is percentage increase or decrease. Number 2 is area. Area is length into breadth. Number 3 is volume, that is LBH. We will discuss how we can use successive in LBH as well, in volume. Number 4, we can use it in expenditure, which is price into consumption. Number 5, we can use it in successive discount. Number 6, we can use it in compound interest. Number 7, we can use it in population growth. The compound interest we will learn in the chapter of SICI, and the population growth and all of the rest of these things we can learn in this chapter only. So now think about it, like already I've given you the example of discount increase and the area, but I have not given you the example of volume. Let's say cube is there, like you can see the cube is there, and let's think about the length, breadth and height of this cube is increased by 10%. The length, breadth and the height of this cube is increased by 10%, right? So the question is, what is the percentage change in volume? Now if this is the question, now the percentage change of the volume, so this question can be solved like this way. Let's say the side is 10. So if the side is 10, what is the volume? The volume is 10 cube, because volume is side cube. So volume is basically nothing but 1000. Now if the 10% increase in side, so if the 10% increase happened, so 10 becomes how much? 11. So the new side now becoming 11. So volume becoming 11 cube, which is 1331. So what is the increase? The increase is 331 out of 1000. So in 100 the increase is basically into 100, which is 33.1, and hence your answer is 33.1%. So this kind of question we can solve it by using successive as well. Now what is the successive thing? First to do for two things, that is 10 plus 10 plus 10 into 10 upon 100, that is 21. Now do again successive, 21 plus 10 plus 21 into 10 upon 100, which is 33.1. So in case of three things, we can use the successive twice. In case of four things, we can use the successive thrice also. Like do for first two, do next two, then do successive of the first two and the next two as well. So successive can be used in so many other ways. Like you can see, like we can also use the successive in case of volume. And the pictorial argumentation is also be there, right? Now the second is like we can also use successive in same case, like let's say you invested some amount, and the first month you have like, let's say 10% return, second month 20%, and third month let's say minus 30%. So in this case, what is the overall return? So you can do the same thing in the successive also. So in successive is 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 upon 100. So I have got how much? 32. Now 32 minus 30 minus 32 into 30 upon 100. So it will become, that is 32 minus 30 is 2, and this is 9.6. So this is equals to 2 minus 9.6. Right? So that is, the answer is minus 7.6. So I can say I have a loss of 7.6%. So depending on all of these things, we can solve this type of question. So you have understood like how we basically use this concept of, all of this concept of, let's say basically like all of this concept of successive in these different types of question. And now there is one very important concept of successive as well. What is a very important concept of successive? That whether we can use successive in other cases or not. Let's think about squared. If the side is increased by 10%, what is the increase in perimeter? Now think about this square. The perimeter is 4a. So if the side is 10, the perimeter is 40. If 10 is increased by 1, so 10 become 11, and you can see the perimeter will become 11 into 4, that is 44. So now if you can see 44, initially was 40. What is the percentage increase? That is 4 upon 40 into 100 is 10%. So in case of square, the percentage increase in perimeter and the percentage increase in side is same. Because why? These two are one dimensional. Think about it, both are one dimensional. But the area is two dimensional. That's why it is 10 square. That's why it is 21%. But think about in some case like a rectangle, where let's say the length is increased by 10% and the breadth is increased by 20%. In that case, the answer is cannot be determined. Why? Because we don't know exactly what is the value of length or breadth, because this is the addition form. What is the perimeter of a rectangle? It is twice into L plus B. Am I clear? Now if it twice into L plus B and the L is increased by how much? 10%, let's say. So L become 1.1 L and breadth become 20% increase, so that breadth become 1.2 B. So think about now 2 into 1.1 L plus 1.2 B cannot be compared with 2 into L plus B, because this is not increased by the same portion. If I have said both are increased by the same portion, like the same percentage, then the answer can be determined. That's fine. But in this case, for you, I give you a homework as well. Check the value for L and B. Like check one case, take L is 100 and breadth is 50. In another case, take L as 100, breadth is 20. You can see you will have two different answers in case of perimeter, but you have the same answer in case of area. So when there is a product that is same, but when it is perimeter, in case of rectangle, that is different. So in that case, the answer was cannot be determined. And the same kind of question have been asked in interview of I am Shillong as well. So that question was like slightly different. Like the question was basically something like you have bought two like t-shirts, like one for you, one for your girlfriend, let's say. Now for that is top and that is one is t-shirt. For t-shirt you got a discount of 50%, and for the top you got a discount of, let's say, 80%. Now the question is, what was your overall discount percentage? Now you cannot answer this question because you don't know whether the price of these two things are same or not. If the price of two things same, then our answer would have been -50 -80 by 2, which is -65%. But as we don't know about the price, or as we don't know even the ratio of the price, even if the ratio of the price is given, still we can have an answer. But if we have no relation between the price of those different products, then the answer is cannot be determined. So please understand where we cannot use successive. So these are the cases where we cannot use successive, like the perimeter for a rectangle, or like let's say the case of two different products where the price is not same and we don't know even the price also, and like in one case there is one type of discount, in the second case there is another type of discount. So in this kind of heterogeneity we do not use successive. Generally successive mostly used in a homogeneous kind of thing where the things are same and similar. So that is like the concept of successive, and this is all about successive. In the next video, what we will do, in the next thing, we will learn mostly about the more questions as well as like understanding like how we use successive and where exactly we use base change, and also we'll start with population growth. That is the first thing we'll start with, and then we will roam accordingly.